Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing a book review on The Salt Grows Heavy by Cassandra Khaw. The Salt Grows Heavy by Cassandra Khaw follows a mermaid and a plague doctor through a decimated kingdom where they run into a village full of bloodthirsty children controlled by three grotesque surgeons. The mermaid and the plague doctor will have to let loose the darkest parts of themselves in order to survive. Since this book features a plague doctor, I thought it would be cute to share my little plague doctor right here, this cute little plushie. Yes, this is a plague doctor plushie. Yeah, guys, look how cute he is. He has a little lamp, this little chain, yeah, the mask here. Super cute. I love him. I'll put him right here temporarily in the video. So, on to the actual review portion of this video. This is a very short and to the point novella. So if you're sitting at your Goodreads challenge right now and you're thinking, damn, I need to catch up on my Goodreads challenge, this might be a nice little book for you to kind of read in like just a day or two and kind of boost your Goodreads challenge. I really liked the creativity of this novella. I think this novella was a little hit or miss for me in places, but for the most part, I did kind of like it. It was a little odd and peculiar to me. I'll kind of get into some specifics about what was kind of just not sitting quite right with me with this, but for the most part, I did really like this. I like the creativity, and it is a Little Mermaid retelling of a sort. Not really a straight up retelling, but kind of like influences of The Little Mermaid in there scattered, if you're kind of looking in the right places for that retelling. And this is not like, you know, Disney Little Mermaid. This is like grotesque, horrifying, gross, disturbing, graphic Little Mermaid. Seriously, there is just some gruesomeness that happens in this book that, yeah, if you are squeamish, you might want to stay away from this. I am someone in particular, like, I can't even sit through horror movies. I'm very specific with horror movies. Like, I do not like slashers at all. That's not my type of scary movie at all. Yet this story, yeah, there's just blood, guts, gore, eyeballs being popped out, veins being ripped out, limbs being torn up. It gets pretty grotesque, and I definitely need to put that here at the top of the video. If you're someone just, you are very squeamish, you don't want to see graphicness like that at all, you might want to definitely steer clear from this, because it can get pretty upsetting, I think. So yeah, definitely younger readers, I mean, unless you're a younger reader who, at a very young age, you already really like horror movies, then yeah, you might really like this. But yeah, oh yeah, if you're squeamish, I think at its core, what this novella is about and what it's exploring, it's about body autonomy. And I guess what I mean about that, let's see, you have your two main characters. You have a mermaid, and you find out that she was kind of taken from her kingdom under the sea, if you will. She was forced to marry a prince, and also as a result, her tongue was taken away from her. It was forcibly cut from her mouth, so she couldn't speak. So yeah, that's a unique take there, because, you know, I think in the original Grimm's fairy tale, and plus with Disney's Little Mermaid, you know, Ariel can't speak. So yeah, the mermaid in this, she can't speak. Her tongue is gone. It was forcibly taken from her. And yes, she was forced to have children with this guy that she was forced to marry. So there's that right there, you know, her trying to reclaim her body autonomy. And then the plague doctor, who is actually genderless. The plague doctor is never given any sort of gender at all. They are constantly referred to as they or them. The plague doctor has their own form of body autonomy as well that I can't really entirely get into because of spoilers, because their story ties into the main central story in some very interesting, clever ways. And the plague doctor, they are kind of on this quest of revenge. They have their kind of thing going on that the mermaid, she doesn't entirely know quite yet. So, like I said, the heart and core of this novella, it's definitely about body autonomy, and these two characters who are out for revenge, and they're trying to reclaim their bodies in some manner, you know, because horrible things were done to them. And it's a big thing that they need to reclaim their bodies, and like, hey, you took this from me, but I'm taking it back, and you're no longer going to violate me anymore. So that's a big, huge part of this story. So at the start of this novella, the quick kind of backstory that you get, because you're kind of just thrown into this narrative, the mermaid has to kind of quickly catch you up to speed about what's going on. The backstory of what has happened, why this kingdom has fallen into disrepair, why it's completely decimated. You get the idea that the mermaid, you know, because she was forced to have children with the prince, she had a bunch of daughters. I guess no sons. She never says anything about sons, but she definitely says she had a lot of daughters. And you get the idea that her daughters, you know, because they're savage, beastly mermaids, you know, they're wild creatures under the sea. That is their natural state of being, you know. So her daughters have just gone completely crazy and insane, and they have just completely destroyed the kingdom, totally decimated this kingdom, because the mermaid kind of describes it as being this fallen place that's just turned into ash and ruin, and you get this really gothic, creepy vibe that's really horrific. Her daughters have essentially gone on a killing spree, is the best way to think about it. So you have the mermaid and the plague doctor, who have somehow become companions in this whole situation, and they're just kind of going from village to village through the chaos and the ruin of this kingdom. And at some point in this book, they do run into this little village that has a bunch of bloodthirsty, insane children, and they are ruled over by 3 gruesome, grotesque surgeons. And once again, without totally getting into spoilers, because the horror, the absolute horror of what is going on in this little village, what these doctors are doing with these children, once again, it all has to do a lot with body autonomy. It's everything is kind of peeled back layer by layer about what these surgeons are doing to these children, and once again, how the plague doctor kind of ties into this as well. And then, yeah, the mermaid kind of doing her own thing within this narrative as well. It all gets really graphic, gruesome, disturbing, upsetting. How many more words could I use to describe? Overall, like I said, I for the most part did like this. I liked the creativity of it. But where I was having struggles and issues was definitely the writing style. Cassandra Khaw's writing, I just don't know if her writing is entirely for me, unfortunately. I just don't know if I could read another book of hers, because I was looking through Goodreads reviews, and a lot of people were talking about her writing style, that her writing style is pretty similar in all the kind of various different things that she's done. And let me see if I can try to describe her writing style to you. It's kind of hard to describe unless you kind of read this yourself. Let me put it this way. I shouldn't have to stop what I'm doing and pull out a dictionary, because Cassandra Khaw, it almost felt pretentious. This novella felt rather pretentious. Like, hey, look at this big giant word I'm using that no one's going to understand. Hey, look at this really deep metaphor that no one's going to understand. And sometimes her sentences, I feel like her sentences were just so freaking long. And then you have kind of the shorter sentences. And then you have these sentences that just ran for like a whole freaking paragraph. And it would kind of reach the point that I forgot what the whole paragraph was even talking about, because the sentence would be so long and huge, full of gigantic, huge words that I've never heard of in my life. And then, like, within that, like, some sort of metaphor? I don't know. Does that make sense? Does any of that make sense, what I just said? So that's why I'm saying that there's something about this book. It just felt a tad bit pretentious, like, hey, look at me, look at my writing, I am so great, look at this big word, look at this great metaphor. And It did. It just felt so full of itself. And I hate pretentious writing, you guys. Self-satisfying, I think that's the word I'm kind of looking for as well. It just felt so self-satisfying. Now, I mean, that being said, there were certain elements of her writing that I did really enjoy because I did like her descriptions. You know, she had such wonderful descriptions that were just really vibrant and colorful, and just she had a unique way of kind of describing a situation or describing a person or describing an event. You know, there's certain aspects of the writing that I did like in that regard because I've never seen writing quite like that, the way she kind of portrays things. But yeah, once again, just then you would have on another page, just then it would all of a sudden just feel way too pretentious. Arrogance. I think arrogance is also another word to describe the writing style. It felt very arrogant. I guess that's it. Pretentious, self-satisfying, and arrogant. Maybe that sounds a little bit cruel. I don't know. But I'm just being honest about how I felt about the writing style. And that's why I say I'm not quite sure if I might read anything by Cassandra Khaw again. I'm not quite sure. Also, as a quick heads up, at the very tail end of this novella is another quick 7 pages. 7 pages, you guys. 7 pages of a short story. And that 7 pages, kind of when I was looking through Goodreads, it sounded like those 7 pages had been published before, prior to this novella, and that it seemed like the publisher wanted to go ahead and put that in here with this book. But there is 7 pages posted at the very end of this novella that are essentially the backstory of the mermaid and how she came to be with the prince and how she was treated, how her tongue was taken from her, and then all of her children, you know, kind of leading up to her children destroying the kingdom. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, why was that 7 pages put at the very end of this novella? Because I would have appreciated having those 7 pages to read first. Because a lot of stuff made a lot more sense to me, and I felt like I was able to connect to the mermaid a little bit better having had her backstory. So I don't understand why the publisher and the editor didn't work with Cassandra Khaw and work together to kind of put those 7 pages at the very beginning and then maybe kind of have a few pages to kind of fill in that gap between that 7 pages and then leading into the novella. You know what I mean? So if you pick this book up, if you're interested in it, I recommend reading the 7 pages at the very end first and then moving into the novella, because I think it will be very beneficial and very helpful. Overall, I did like this book for the most part. The part about me griping about the pretentious writing may sound that I didn't entirely like this book, but I still liked it for the creativity and the uniqueness of kind of this Little Mermaid retelling. I really liked the characters. I really liked the voice of the mermaid. You know, even though she never spoke, the thing is her inner monologue, you know, I think Cassandra called it did a great job there kind of having that inner monologue there and how she communicated to the plague doctor. And then yeah, the plague doctor the plague doctor was seriously probably my favorite character. They were just absolutely great. I kind of liked their kind of deadpan sense of humor, if you will, and I liked kind of the tragicness of their character and their quest for revenge, and once again how it kind of connects to that village with the craziness. But yeah, what worked for me with this novella, I did like, you know. Once again, the pretentiousness of the writing was not totally my cup of tea, but then yeah, then there would be the nice moments of writing that I was totally digging and loving, because Cassandra Khaw definitely has a unique way of telling a story, I think, that I greatly appreciated. I appreciate the risks. You know, I appreciate the risks. And once again, I cannot repeat enough, if you are squeamish, if you do not like blood, guts, and gore, stay away, because there are some truly disturbing things going on in this book, especially in regards to children. And also, I want to end this review, a shout out to this cover. Whoever designed this cover, this is absolutely gorgeous. I love the red and black with the yellow writing, and yeah, you get to see the mermaid and the plague doctor on there, and then yeah, all these skulls lined up. It definitely gives you a great kind of vibe of what this book is going to be. So yeah, excellent job on this cover design. So you guys, that's it for this book review. In the comments below, have you guys read this book? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Do you plan on reading it sometime in the future? Just let me know. So that's it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you like this video, you may like these other videos. Bye guys.